The second alien fleet arrived at the asteroid belt like an angry storm. 500 warships filled the space between Mars and Jupiter. Each ship was larger and more powerful than the scouts Admiral Corex had sent before. These were real battle cruisers designed to destroy entire planets. Admiral Corex himself commanded the fleet from his flagship, a massive vessel called the Star Destroyer. His ship alone carried enough firepower to level a city. He was confident that 500 ships would easily defeat whatever the humans could send against them. Captain Dong-Su waited for them with 200 human ships. But these were not mining vessels like the ones that had fought before. These were actual military warships built specifically for combat. They had been hidden in secret bases throughout the solar system, waiting for this moment. Human ships looked different from the mining vessels. They were sleeker, more angular, covered with weapon systems and armor plating. Their hulls were painted in dark colors that made them hard to see against the black of space. These ships had been designed by people who understood war. Captain Dong-Su stood on the bridge of his flagship studying the approaching alien fleet. His crew moved around him with quiet efficiency. Every person on board was a veteran of multiple combat operations. They had fought in the corporate wars, the colony conflicts, and the resource battles that had kept human military skills sharp. "Sir, the aliens are demanding our surrender," reported Communications Officer Haijin. "They say we are outnumbered and should give up now." Captain Dong-Su smiled. "Tell them we decline their kind offer." Then he activated the ship-wide communication system. "All ships, this is Captain Dong-Su. The aliens think they are fighting a peaceful species. They are about to learn the truth about humanity." The alien fleet moved into attack formation. Admiral Corex watched the human ships on his tactical display. 200 vessels against 500. The humans were outnumbered more than 2 to 1. "This should be an easy victory, Admiral. The human ships are not retreating," his tactical officer reported. "They are moving to engage us." "Good," Admiral Corex said. "Let them come. We will destroy them quickly and move on to Earth." But when the battle began, Admiral Corex realized immediately that something was very wrong. The human ships moved like nothing he had ever seen before. They did not fight in straight lines or follow predictable patterns. Instead, they seemed to flow through space like water. Humans used the asteroids as weapons and shields just like the mining ships had done, but they did it with military precision. Every movement was calculated, every attack was coordinated. They fought like a single organism with 200 parts. Captain Dong-Su coordinated the battle from his command center. The asteroids gave his ships advantages that the aliens could not match. Human vessels could hide behind rocks and launch surprise attacks. They could use gravitational forces to slingshot around larger asteroids at high speed. Ship Commander Tai Young led a squadron of 12 human vessels in a complex maneuver. They approached an alien battle group from 3 different directions at once. The aliens tried to respond, but their ships were too big and slow to change direction quickly. Human ships hit the aliens with everything they had: energy weapons, kinetic projectiles, and something the aliens we had never seen before: small ships that could detach from larger ones and fly independently into enemy vessels. These were human fighter craft. Each one carried a single pilot and enough explosives to cripple an alien ship. The pilots were volunteers who had trained for suicide missions if necessary, but they were also skilled enough to complete their attacks and escape. Fighter pilot Min Young flew her small craft directly toward an alien battleship. The ship's massive guns tried to shoot her down, but she was too small and fast. The alien weapons were designed to fight other large ships, not tiny fighters. She reached the alien ship and attached her explosives to the engine section. Then she fired her emergency rockets to escape. The explosion that followed destroyed the alien ship power systems and left it drifting helplessly all across the battlefield. Similar scenes played out. Human fighters swarmed around alien ships like insects attacking giants the aliens had no defense against. Such small, fast targets. Admiral Corex watched his fleet being systematically destroyed and finally began to understand what he was facing. These humans did not fight like any other species he had conquered. They did not use standard military tactics or follow predictable battle plans. They fought like people who had been preparing for war their entire lives. Every human seemed to know exactly what to do in any situation. They adapted to changing conditions instantly. They turned every disadvantage into an advantage. "Admiral, sir, we have lost over 200 ships," his officer reported. "The humans are using tactics we have never encountered." "How is this possible?" Admiral Corex demanded. "We have the superior numbers. We have the superior numbers. We have the superior technology. I think the problem is that we do not understand what we are fighting," the officer said. "The humans are not fighting like a peaceful species. They are fighting like the most warlike species we have ever encountered." Captain Dong-Su pressed his advantage. The alien fleet was breaking apart as ships tried to escape or regroup. His forces pursued them, relentlessly cutting off escape routes and destroying damaged vessels. The battle turned into a rout. Human ships chased fleeing aliens through the asteroid belt. The aliens had lost their formation, their coordination, and their confidence. Many alien captains were sending distress signals asking for help or trying to surrender. Within 2 hours of fighting, the alien fleet was completely defeated. Less Then 50 alien ships escaped to carry news of the disaster back to Admiral Orcs. The human fleet had lost only 15 ships. Admiral Orcs found himself aboard a damaged vessel with most of his fleet destroyed around him. He sent a desperate message to the Vorthan Empire Command. "This is Admiral Orcs. The humans are not what our intelligence reported. They are not a peaceful species. They are warriors who have been preparing for war." The message reached the Vorthan home worlds, where the Empire leaders received the news with shock. How could 500 ships be defeated by 200? They demanded explanations. Admiral Orcs tried to explain what he had learned. The humans have been fighting among themselves for 3,000 years. They never stopped being soldiers. They just stopped fighting other species. Every human knows how to fight. Every human has combat experience. Their civilian ships can be converted to military use. Their actual military ships are more advanced than anything we have. The Vorthan Empire leaders did not want to believe this report. One species could not be that dangerous. But the evidence was undeniable. 2 major fleets had been destroyed by human forces on Earth. President Ji-hoon addressed the planet. "The aliens came to conquer us because they thought we were weak. They thought 3,000 years of peace had made us soft. They were wrong. Peace between nations did not make us peaceful people. It made us better at war." The human military was now fully mobilized. Ships launched from every base, every colony, every hidden facility. The aliens had wanted to fight humanity. Now they were going to get their wish, but the war was not going the way the aliens had planned. Instead of conquering a weak, peaceful species, they were facing the most dangerous enemy they had ever encountered, and the humans were just getting started. The first alien scout ships arrived near Jupiter like a pack of hungry wolves approaching a farm. They moved in perfect formation, 50 ships each, the size of a skyscraper. Their hulls were black metal covered with weapon ports and shield generators. They had destroyed cities on other worlds. These ships were built for conquest. Commander Hyanwoo waited for them with 30 human vessels. His ships looked much smaller and less impressive. They were asteroid mining ships officially, but every human, the military officer, knew the truth. Mining ships that could break apart mountains and extract metals from hostile space environments made excellent weapons of war. The alien fleet commander, Admiral Vex, looked at his tactical display showing the human ships. His officers were analyzing the enemy vessels, trying to understand their capabilities. "Sir," one officer reported, "that human ships appear to be mining vessels. They have rock-breaking equipment, metal extraction tools, and cargo holds. They are not warships." Admiral Vex felt confident these humans had sent mining ships to fight his battle fleet. Either they were completely insane or they had no real military ships to send. This would be easier than he thought. He opened a communication channel. "To the human commander, surrender immediately. Human, your mining ships cannot fight our warships. You will be destroyed if you resist." "Commander." Hyanwoo responded calmly, "Admiral Vex, we decline your generous offer. We will fight." The alien admiral was amazed by human stupidity. "Very well," he said. "Destroy them all." The battle began with the aliens firing their main weapons. Energy beams shot across space toward the human ships. The beams were powerful enough to melt steel and destroy armor, but the human ships moved in ways the aliens did not expect. Commander Hyanwoo had trained his crews for exactly this situation. The mining ships used their industrial equipment in creative ways. They launched chunks of metal and rock at high speed toward the alien vessels. The chunks were not fancy weapons, but a piece of asteroid traveling at high speed could punch holes through any armor. Humans also used their mining lasers in unexpected ways. The lasers were designed to cut through solid rock. In space battle, they could slice through alien ship hulls like knives through paper. The aliens had shields to stop energy weapons, but their shields were designed to stop military lasers, not industrial cutting tools. Mining ship Captain Junho commanded one of the smaller human vessels. His ship had been cutting up asteroids for 5 years. His crew knew every trick for working in dangerous space environments. They used those tricks now for war. "Captain, the alien ships are trying to surround us," reported his navigator. Soyoung Junho smiled. "Let them try." He activated his ship mining systems and grabbed a nearby chunk of space rock with his magnetic claws. The rock was the size of a building. He launched it directly at the nearest alien ship. The alien captain saw the rock coming and tried to destroy it with weapons fire, but the rock broke into smaller pieces that kept flying toward his ship. The pieces hit like bullets, tearing holes in the hull. Systems failed. Air leaked out into space. Human mining ships used similar tactics. They grabbed asteroids and used them as shields and weapons. They moved through the asteroid field like fish swimming through water, while the alien ships struggled to navigate the rocky terrain. The aliens had trained to fight in open space. Their tactics worked well against other military fleets, but they had never fought an enemy that could use the environment itself as a weapon. Within 10 minutes of fighting, Admiral Vex realized his mistake. The human mining ships were not helpless civilian vessels. They were industrial tools being used by people who understood how to survive and fight in the most dangerous places in space. "Admiral, we are losing ships," his tactical officer reported. "The humans are using unconventional tactics. We are not prepared for this type of combat." Admiral Vex watched another of his ships explode as a human mining laser cut through its engine section. "How many ships have we lost?" he asked. 15 destroyed, 12 heavily damaged, his officer replied. "Then the humans' 3 ships destroyed, sir, but their crews evacuated to other vessels before the ships were lost." Admiral Vex could not believe what he was hearing. His advanced military fleet was being defeated by mining ships operated by space workers. This was impossible. The human tactics was simple but effective. They used the asteroid field for cover. They turned industrial tools into weapons. They worked together like a team that had practiced for years because they had practiced for years. Commander Hyunwoo coordinated the human attack from his command ship. All mining crews trained for emergency situations. He told his captains hostile environments, equipment failures. Space pirates, you all know how to fight, because fighting is part of survival in space. The aliens continued to lose ships. Their formations broke apart as they tried to chase human vessels through the asteroids. Some alien ships crashed into rocks when they moved too fast. Others were hit by surprise attacks from human ships hiding behind larger asteroids. Captain Junho managed to disable an alien battleship by using his mining drill to puncture its fuel tanks. The ship did not explode, but it lost power and started drifting helplessly through space. The battle ended after 14 minutes. All 50 alien ships were either destroyed or disabled. The human fleet had lost 3 ships but saved most of their crews. Admiral Vex found himself aboard a damaged ship with failing life support systems. He sent an emergency message to the main alien fleet. Admiral Orcs, sir, the humans are not what we expected. They fight like nothing we have seen before. They use their environment as a weapon. They turn civilian equipment into military tools. Message reached Admiral Orcs on his flagship. He read the report with growing alarm. 50 ships destroyed by 30 mining vessels. This was impossible. His intelligence about human capabilities was completely wrong. Admiral, what are your orders? Asked his second-in-command. Admiral Orcs stared at the tactical display. Send 500 ships, he said. The mining ships must have been a trap. They probably had hidden military vessels. We will overwhelm them with numbers. But Admiral Orcs was making another mistake. He still did not understand what he was fighting. The humans had not sent their best ships to fight the scouts. They had sent actual mining ships operated by actual miners who happened to be trained for combat like every other human. The real human military was still preparing for battle, and they were much more dangerous than mining ships. Commander Hyunwoo received word that a larger alien fleet was approaching. His mining ships had won the first battle, but the next fight would be much bigger. Signal Earth's command, he told his communications officer. Tell them the aliens are sending more ships. Tell them we need the real military. Now the message was sent, and Earth's command responded immediately. The mining ships had done their job. They had shown the aliens that even human civilians could fight. Now it was time for the soldiers to take over. The war was just beginning, and the aliens still had no idea what they had gotten themselves into. Captain Woojin was floating in zero gravity when the emergency alert came through his ship communication system. The red lights started blinking, and the alarm sound filled every room on his exploration vessel. The message was simple and direct. All human ships prepare for immediate combat operations. His crew moved like they had practiced this 1,000 times because they had the 200 humans on board his ship had trained for this exact moment. For years they moved to their battle stations without panic, without confusion. Every person knew exactly what to do. Woojin pushed himself toward the command center where his senior officers were already waiting. Pilot Sora was checking weapon systems. Engineer Minho was bringing the main engines. Online communications officer Delmi was monitoring alien fleet movements. Captain, the alien fleet is moving toward Earth, Sora reported. They have over 3,000 ships. The biggest ones are the size of small cities. Woojin looked at the tactical display showing the massive alien armada approaching human space. Each alien ship was marked with a red dot. There were so many red dots that they looked like a red cloud moving through space. How long until they reach Earth? He asked. 48 hours at their current speed, Dalmi answered, unless they speed up. Minho looked up from his engineering station. Captain, our ship is officially listed as an exploration vessel. Should we contact Earth Command and tell them we are not really explorers? Woojin smiled slightly. No, let the aliens figure that out themselves. He turned to address his entire crew over the ship communication system. Attention everyone, this is your captain. The aliens think we are weak because we have been at peace for 3,000 years. They are about to learn how wrong they are. In the crew meeting room later that day, Woojin explained the situation to his people. The aliens had been watching Earth for months, maybe years. They saw that the big nations were not fighting each other. They saw no massive world wars. They thought this meant humans had become soft and peaceful, but they missed everything else. Woojin said they did not see the colony wars. They did not see the corporate conflicts. They did not see the resource battles. They did not see the military training that every human child receives in school. Gunnar Kyung-ho raised his hand. Captain, I fought in the Europa mining war for 2 years before joining this crew. Security Chief Nomsu nodded. I was in corporate security for 5 years. We fought battles every month. Medical Officer Young-mi spoke up. Even I have combat training. Every doctor in space has to know how to fight pirates, raiders, hostile environments. We all learn. Woojin looked around the room. Every single person on this ship has military experience. Every person has been in real combat situations. The aliens think they are attacking farmers and shopkeepers. They are actually attacking soldiers who never stopped being soldiers on Mars Base 7. Colonel Yoonji was briefing her battalion about the incoming alien threat. Her soldiers sat in neat rows, listening carefully. These were not fresh recruits. These were battle-tested veterans who had been fighting separatist groups for months. The aliens have 3,000 ships, she told them. Our intelligence says each ship carries between 500 and 2,000 alien soldiers. They have energy weapons that can destroy buildings. They have armor that can stop most projectiles. They have shields that can deflect missiles. One of her soldiers, Sergeant Bongsu, raised his hand. Colonel, how many ships do we have? Colonel Yonji smiled. We have about 800 combat ships, but we also have 2,000 mining vessels, 3,000 cargo haulers, 1,000 exploration ships, and 500 research vessels. The soldiers looked confused. Why are you telling us about civilian ships? Sergeant Inho asked. Because they are not really civilian ships. The colonel explained. Every human ship built in the last 1,000 years was designed to be converted to military use in less than 6 hours. A mining ship that can break apart asteroids can destroy enemy vessels. A cargo hauler that can carry supplies. 2 distant colonies can carry weapons and troops. A research vessel that can survive in hostile environments can fight in space battles. She activated a holographic display showing different types of human ships. The display showed how each ship could be quickly changed from civilian use to military use. The aliens counted our official military ships and thought that was all we had. They did not count the thousands of other ships that can become weapons of war. They made the same mistake that every enemy of humanity has made. They underestimated us back on Earth. General Tejo was coordinating the global defense effort. His command center was buzzing with activity. Officers were tracking alien movements, activating hidden weapon systems, and sending orders to human forces throughout the solar system. General, one of his aides, said the aliens are broadcasting another message. They want to speak with our leaders. Put it on the main screen, Tejo ordered. The alien commander appeared on the screen. He was tall and thin with gray skin and large black eyes. His voice was translated by human computers. People of Earth, I am Admiral Corex of the Vorthan Empire. We are giving you one final chance to surrender. We have 3,000 warships. We have conquered 47 species. You cannot defeat Ustan. Tejo stepped forward and activated the response transmitter. Admiral Corex, he said, this is General Tejo of Earth Defense Command. We have received your message. We decline your offer to surrender. That alien admiral looked surprised. You decline? Are you insane? We have overwhelming force. The general smiled. We have something better than overwhelming force, Admiral. We have experience. What do you mean by experience? The alien asked. Tejo gestured to his command center around him. Hundreds of human officers were working at computer stations, monitoring displays, coordinating with forces across the galaxy. Every person you see here has been in combat. Every person has fought in real wars. For the past 3,000 years we have been fighting each other in small conflicts, training our people, preparing for the day when someone like you would come. The alien admiral was quiet for a moment. Then he said, but our intelligence, it shows that Earth has been peaceful. The general laughed. Earth has been peaceful, Admiral, but humans do not live only on Earth. We live on Mars, we live on Europa, we live on Titan, we live on Titan, we live in asteroid colonies, we live on space stations throughout this solar system, and we have never stopped fighting each other. He activated another display showing human colonies throughout the solar system. Each colony was marked with battle histories, corporate wars, territorial disputes, resource conflicts, mining, rights battles, trade route conflicts. Every human learns to fight in school, Admiral. Every human serves time in some kind of security force. Every human knows how to use weapons. Every human has been in combat situations. The peace you observed on Earth was just us not fighting aliens. It was never us not fighting. The alien admiral was beginning to understand. Impossible, he said. No species maintains military readiness during peacetime. General Tejo smiled again. That is why 47 species fell to you, Admiral. They thought peacetime meant they could relax. They thought peace meant they could forget how to fight. But humans never forget how to fight. We just change who we are fighting. The transmission ended. Admiral Corex stood on his ship bridge staring at the dark screen. His officers looked worried. Admiral, one of them said, should we reconsider this attack? Admiral Corex thought for a long moment. Then he said, no, they are bluffing. 3,000 years of peace must have made them weak. Send scouts ahead. Let them probe the human defenses. We will see how strong these humans really are. But Admiral Corex was making the biggest mistake of his long military career. He was about to discover that humans had spent 3,000 years preparing for exactly this moment, and they were ready. The morning sun was bright when the shadow appeared over Seoul. The shadow was not from clouds, it was from something much bigger, much stranger. Ambassador Cumin was drinking his coffee on the top floor of the United Earth Council building when the light in his office suddenly went dark. He looked up from his papers and saw a massive ship floating in the sky above the city. It was bigger than any building Cumin had ever seen. The ship was black and had strange lights blinking along its sides. It looked like a giant metal whale floating in the air. Cumin did not panic. He had been expecting something like this for years. Maybe not today, maybe not exactly like this, but something. His assistant Hannah ran into his office. Her face was excited but not scared. Sir, she said, holding her tablet. The ship is sending messages on every frequency, every radio station, every television channel, every internet connection. They want to talk to all of humanity at once. Cumin smiled and put down his coffee cup. Finally he said, "Show me what they are saying." The tablet screen showed the translation software working in real time. Strange alien words were being changed into human language. The voice speaking was deep and serious. It sounded like someone reading from a script. "People of Earth," the voice said, "we are the Vorthan Empire. We rule 12 star systems. We have conquered 47 species. We are the strongest military force in this galaxy." Kumin raised his eyebrows. 47 species, he said to Hana. "That is actually quite impressive." The alien voice continued, "For 3,000 years, you humans have lived in peace. You have grown soft and weak. You have forgotten how to fight. You have become lazy and comfortable. This ends today." Hana looked at her boss. Ambassador Kumin was starting to smile. The smile was getting bigger as the alien kept talking. "We declare war on humanity," the voice announced. "You have 7 days to surrender completely. If you do not surrender, we will destroy your cities. We will take your planet. We will make you slaves like the other 47 species." The message ended. There was silence in the office for a few seconds. Then Ambassador Kumin started laughing. It was not a nervous laugh. It was not a scared laugh. It was a real, deep, happy laugh, like someone had just told him the funniest joke in the world. Hana stared at him like he had gone crazy. "Sir," she said, "are you okay? They just declared war on us." Kumin kept laughing. He laughed so hard that tears started coming from his eyes. He had to sit down in his chair because he was laughing too much enough. "The aliens think we have been at peace for 3,000 years, he said. Between laughs, "They actually believe that we have been peaceful, but sir, we have been at Peace Haven," Hana started to say. Then she stopped. She understood. Her eyes got wide. "Oh," she said. "Oh no, exactly," Kumin said, wiping his eyes. "We have been at peace with other species for 3,000 years, but we have never been at peace with each other." Down in the building, other council members were getting the same message. In conference rooms across the building, human leaders were reading the alien declaration, and one by one they were all starting to laughing. The military command center, 5 floors below, General Tejo was not laughing, but he was smiling. He was looking at a big holographic map that showed Earth and all the human colonies. The map had thousands of little lights on it. Each light was a human military base or weapon system or warship. "Send the activation code to all colonial defense forces," he told his officers. "Send word to the corporate security fleets. Tell the mining companies to arm their ships. Tell the exploration teams to return to base." "But sir," one young officer said, "the aliens gave us 7 days. Should we not try to negotiate?" General Tejo looked at the officer like he was a child who had asked why the sky was blue. "Son," he said, "how long do you think it will take us to mobilize our forces?" The officer thought for a moment. "About 6 hours, sir." "Then why would we need 7 days?" the general asked. "Up in space." Captain Wujin was commanding a patrol ship near the edge of the solar system. His ship was officially listed as an exploration vessel, but it carried enough weapons to destroy a small city. When he got the message about the alien declaration, he called his crew together. The crew gathered in the main meeting room. There were 200 people on the ship. All of them had military training. All of them had fought in some kind of conflict in the past 5 years. "Listen up, everyone," Captain Wujin said. "Some aliens have declared war on us. They think we are weak because we have not fought other species for 3,000 years." The crew looked at each other. Pilot Sora raised her hand. "Captain, should we tell them about the Mars colony war?" "What about the corporate security conflicts?" asked Engineer Minhor. "The asteroid mining dispute?" "Someone else added." Captain Wujin shook his head. "No, let them figure it out themselves." He paused and looked at his crew. "These aliens have conquered 47 species. They probably fought each species one at a time. When one war ended, they started preparing for the next war." He walked to the window and looked out at the stars. "But we have never stopped fighting. We fight each other constantly. We have colony wars. We have corporate battles. We have territorial disputes. We have resource conflicts. Every human learns how to fight. Every human practices fighting." Zora, the pilot, understood. "First, Captain, are you saying that while the aliens were resting between wars, we were always at war?" "Exactly," the captain said. "The aliens think peace makes you weak, but our kind of peace has made us stronger. We have been practicing war for 3,000 years while pretending to be peaceful on Mars." Colonel Yonji was meeting with her battalion. They had been fighting separatist groups for 6 months. The separatists wanted Mars to be independent from Earth. It was a small war, but it was still war. Her soldiers were experienced and tough. When she told them about the alien declaration, the soldiers reacted the same way everyone else had. They started smiling. "Something different to shoot at," said Sergeant Bongsu. Colonel Yonji nodded. "The aliens made a big mistake. They saw that Earth nations were not fighting each other. They thought this meant humans were peaceful. They did not see all the small wars, the colony conflicts, the corporate battles, the military training that every human receives." As she looked at her soldiers, "All of you have been in combat in the past year. All of you know how to fight. All of you are ready for war. The aliens think they are attacking a peaceful species. They are actually attacking the most warlike species in the galaxy." The Vorthan fleet was moving toward Earth. The alien commanders were confident. They had overwhelming numbers. They had superior technology. They had experience conquering other species. Admiral Korek stood on the bridge of his flagship looking at the tactical display. 47 species had fallen before them. Humans would be number 48. "The humans will surrender quickly," he told his officers. "They have been at peace for 3,000 years. They have no real military. They have no experience with war. This will be easy, but the Admiral was wrong, very wrong. The humans were not preparing for surrender. They were preparing for war, a war they had been getting ready for since the last alien invasion 3,000 years ago. A war they had been practicing for through countless smaller conflicts, and they were still laughing. Admiral Vagin commanded the largest human fleet ever assembled. 1,000 warships filled the space around Earth like a metal cloud. Each ship represented years of secret preparation, decades of hidden construction, centuries of military planning. That humans had been building this fleet while the galaxy thought they were peaceful explorers. The fleet was magnificent battleships, the size of cities. Cruisers armed with weapons that could shatter moons, destroyers fast enough to outrun light. Itself fighter carriers holding thousands of small attack craft. Every ship was crewed by humans who had spent their lives preparing for this moment. Tomorrow, the Jinn stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Earth's Vengeance, looking at the tactical display that showed her massive armada. She had fought in more battles than any other human alive. Corporate wars, colony conflicts, resource disputes, territorial battles. She had been preparing for this war since she was a child. Admiral, we are receiving communications from the Vorthan home system, reported her communications officer. Dalsu, the alien emperor, wants to negotiate. Admiral Dajin smiled. Put him on the main screen. The alien emperor appeared on the display. He was old and gray, with a bearing of someone who had ruled for centuries. His palace throne room was visible behind him, filled with guards and advisors. "I.am Emperor Vorth of the Vorthan Empire," he said in a tired voice. "I wish to discuss terms for ending this conflict." Dajin looked at the alien ruler with interest. "Emperor Vorth, the conflict can end very simply. You declared war on humanity. We accepted your declaration. Now you will surrender unconditionally." The emperor shifted uncomfortably on his throne. "That is not acceptable. We can reach a compromise. We can establish borders. We can create a peace treaty." "No, Admiral," Dajin said firmly. "You wanted war, Emperor. Now you have war. The only question is whether your people survive it, but surely reasonable beings. If you can find a peaceful solution," the emperor said, "we do not need to destroy each other at tomorrow." Dajin activated a holographic display showing the human fleet surrounding the Vorthan home system. "Emperor, do you see these ships? Each one carries weapons that your people have never imagined. We have spent 3,000 years developing technology for war while pretending to develop it for peace." The display showed detailed images of human weapon systems that could destroy planets from across a solar system, devices that could make stars go supernova, weapons that could tear holes in space itself. The technology was far beyond anything the aliens possessed. "This is impossible," the emperor whispered. "How did you develop such advanced weapons?" Admiral Dajin replied. "We never stopped being at war. While you were resting between conquests, we were fighting each other. Every conflict taught us something new. Every battle made us stronger. Every war advanced our technology." She gestured to her officers around the bridge. "Every person you see here has been in combat. Every person has killed enemies. Every person has survived battles that would destroy your best soldiers. We are not farmers or merchants or philosophers. We are warriors who have been pretending to be civilians." The emperor looked around his throne room at his own advisors and guards. Compared to the humans, they suddenly seemed soft and weak. 3,000 years of easy victories over weak species had made the Vorthan Empire comfortable. They had forgotten what real war felt like. "But you were at peace for 3,000 years, the emperor said. "Our intelligence confirmed this." Admiral Dajin laughed. "We were at peace with aliens for 3,000 years, but we were never at peace with each other. Do you know how many wars humans have fought in the past 1,000 years? Over 10,000 conflicts. Corporate battles, colonial disputes, resource wars, territorial conflicts, trade route battles, mining rights disputes, exploration territory fights." The numbers shocked the emperor. 10,000 wars, and those were just the big ones, Admiral Dajin continued. "Every human settlement has local conflicts. Every human corporation has security battles. Every human family teaches their children how to fight. We have been the most warlike species in the galaxy while you thought we were the most peaceful." He activated another display showing human colonies throughout space. Each colony had battle records showing conflicts and military actions. The list seemed endless. Emperor Vorth finally understood the terrible mistake his people had made. They had declared war on a species that had never stopped fighting. The humans had not grown soft during peacetime. They had grown stronger. "What do you want?" he asked quietly. "Unconditional surrender, Admiral." Dajin replied. "Your entire empire will submit to human authority. Your military will be disbanded. Your weapons will be destroyed. Your conquered species will be freed. You will pay reparations for the damage you have caused." The terms were harsh, but the emperor knew he had no choice. The human fleet surrounding his home system could destroy every planet in Vorthan space. The weapons they displayed could eliminate his entire species, and if we refuse, Admiral Dajin activated one final display. It showed a human weapon being fired at an uninhabited moon in the Vorthan system. The moon simply disappeared, turned to dust in seconds. "That was our smallest weapon," she said. Calmly, Emperor Vorth looked at the empty space where the moon had been, then back at the human. "Admiral, I surrender," he said. "The Vorthan Empire surrenders unconditionally." The surrender was broadcast throughout the galaxy. 12 star systems, 40 7 conquered species and the most powerful military empire in known space had been defeated by humans in less than 6 months. News of the victory spread to every human colony, every space station, every ship, every settlement. Humanity had won its first interstellar war and had done it decisively on Earth. President Ji-hoon made a speech to celebrate the victory. The aliens thought we were weak because we had not fought them before. They did not understand that we had been fighting each other. Instead, they mistook our lack of external enemies for a lack of fighting ability. He paused and looked directly into the camera. The galaxy now knows the truth about humanity. We are not a peaceful species. We are a species that was temporarily not fighting aliens. The galaxy is a more dangerous place now, but it is also more free. The human fleet returned home to celebration. Parades were held on every world. Medals were given to the heroes. Veterans of the war became celebrities, but most humans simply went back to their normal lives, back to their corporate conflicts, back to their colonial disputes, back to their resource battles, back to their territorial wars. The aliens were defeated, but humans still had each other to fight. Dujin retired to a small colony on the edge of human space. She had spent her life preparing for war with aliens. Now that the war was over, she could finally rest, but she kept her weapons close just in case. The galaxy had learned an important lesson about humanity. Just because a species appears peaceful does not mean they cannot fight. Sometimes it just means they are fighting each other instead of you, and when they stop fighting each other and start fighting you, the results can be terrifying. The Worthen Empire was disbanded, its species scattered, its weapons destroyed, its former subjects were free to govern themselves. Many of them asked to join the Human Alliance. They had seen what humans could do to their enemies and wanted humans as friends. Instead, the war that was supposed to last years had ended in months. The species that was supposed to be weak had proven to be the strongest. The peace that was supposed to make humans soft had actually made them the most dangerous warriors in the galaxy. And deep in space, human colonies continued their small wars, corporate battles and territorial disputes, always fighting, always preparing, always ready for the next alien empire that might make the same mistake. The humans were still laughing